Hello, my name is Judith Fields, and I'd like to thank you for letting me share with you my editorial on a significant problem called the digital divide, as well as some steps that need to be taken to close the gap. Simply put, the digital divide in education describes the gap between people who have access to affordable, reliable internet service and technology and those who lack it. Recently, research indicates that although 87% of households have access to a computer, smartphone, tablet, or another internet-enabled device, only 73% of households have access to the internet. Students from low-income communities are those most impacted by this digital divide. This can and must change and needs to be addressed at the federal, state, and local levels. Technology and internet access are no longer luxuries, and they must be provided for all students. It is, in fact, perhaps the equivalent of providing paper and pencil for students of past generations. Federal help. Federal investments are critical in ensuring all students have high-speed broadband and technological devices they need to access instruction and support. This includes making sure that any technology provided is accessible for English learners and students with disabilities as well. Fortunately, the federal government has recently taken action and $65 billion in federal funding is being allocated to states specifically for the purpose of closing the digital divide, but it must be used wisely. State help. With funding from the federal government, states must plan for and use funds carefully. States must make decisions on how and where funds are allocated based on current and accurate data that identifies where the most significant gaps are. States also need to create inclusive programs such as technical support and digital literacy training and promote private and public projects that work together to close the divide. Local help. Finally, schools and community stakeholders must work together and be committed to providing all students with technical devices they need to learn in today's world. School and community leaders can ensure that libraries and community centers where it is safe to gather have up-to-date technology and access to high-speed internet. They can also reach out to local businesses and representatives to ask for resources and support in closing the divide. By one estimate, an allocation of just $500 per student would cover the cost of equipping a household with an inexpensive device, connecting to a high-speed provider, and training, software, and other expenses. Closing the digital divide is not something that should happen. It is something that must happen. Federal, state, and local leaders need to make this a priority, and schools need to advocate for the resources needed for our students to succeed in school and beyond in the 21st century, and it can be done. Thank you.